Yeah, that's what his fucking thing is. Okay, we're recording.
Are we live?
We are live.
All right, you know I don't start it, so go ahead.
Welcome to the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast. We're here. We're queer. We're one less guy. Sorry, Tyler. We kicked Tyler off the podcast because he's no good. But
Wait, is that Tyler?
Where is he?
Where's his phone coming out from?
Oh, fuck you, Tyler.
Where's the pen clicks? You gotta
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
pen clicks in for him real quick.
It's like he's still here. Wow.
Oh, Tyler, you're still here in spirit. Whoop.
Yeah, chill. It's in like a radio show.
Jeez,
right now.
Ty. He's out here. He's not even here.
All right, so today we're gonna go over the week. What is it? Week 5.
Yeah,
going into week 5.
Cinco de Mayo.
Week Cinco matchups. First off, we're gonna start out with a little Thursday night recap. We watched the Patriots just smash up them Colts. We're gonna go over that real quick, and then we're gonna go. We might just go through the morning games in this matchup review, but we'll see how much time we have.
Yeah, we'll see where we get to.
We'll see where we get.
We're just kind of winging it this episode.
Yeah, as we do on most.
Episode is coming down to.
Like every episode, we're like, we're just winging it this
We know
month.
all 20 of you listening right now are like, oh, this guy's winging, but I like him. I like him. Especially the Netherlands.
Yeah, Netherlands.
Shout out to the Netherlands.
Shout out to all those people who somehow watch American football. Anyways, let's jump right into it. Let's go to Broncos are playing in New York, playing the Jets.
Colts and Patriots
Oh yeah, my bad. I fucked that one up. Yeah. Let's
right.
let's go over that.
Because you don't have your glasses on.
Yeah,
That's why.
Fuck, where are they? I'm fucking up.
All right, so I'll start while he's trying to find his glasses. Andrew Luck, tale of two halves. First half, I think he was around 160 yards with one touchdown. Ended up putting up a decent game. It looks like he was 365, 3 touchdowns in the game, 2 picks. But it seems like at this point, because they can't get anything going on the ground right now, that Mr. Luck's going to just be throwing it back, dropping back and throwing it 60 times, just kind of being like, hey, screw you, Anthony, telling me I ain't going to throw it 60 times because I'm going to throw it 60 times every game. Naheem Hines, nice to see him getting a decent workload. We mentioned him as someone in the waiver wire episode that you guys should look into picking him up.
I got him back on.
And, he had 15 carries on the ground, 7 catches for 45 yards.
He looked good. Naeem Hines looked good.
Yeah.
He's making some plays.
I mean, that's a nice workload from running backs, especially if you're going to get that, 5 to 6 to 7 receptions with Andrew Luck throwing the ball so much. I mean, going forward, he's probably a flex play, maybe RB2 in some matchups where the Colts figured a trail. So, and then Jordan Wilkins, he showed his head for a little bit, but not much out of there. It seems like Hines is the guy they kind of want to be out there, making plays. Eric Ebron went out there and went full ham, 9 for 105 and 2 tugs. If you started Ebron for a tight end, I mean, this might be the tight end one finish of the week.
I felt like every pass in the end zone was going to it.
I saw a guy in one of my leagues. He was playing against Andrew Luck, and he slid Ebron into his flex.
Oh, man.
And he already had another tight end playing, and I was like, nice move.
Dude, yeah,
the other guy was probably like, damn it.
So he threw a on top of his flex.
Yeah, he already had a
nice.
tight end, and he threw Ebron into his flex.
Damn, dude.
And so Andrew Luck was throwing touchdowns, but they were going to Ebron, so Ebron ended up scoring pretty much the same as Luck.
Damn, that's pretty smart. Look at him go.
And then we'll move over to the Patriots sides. Anyone we missed in there? T.Y. Hilton was out, so once Hilton comes back, I think the receivers are gonna, Chester Rogers and Ryan Grant just average games, but once Hilton comes back, that's his core. New England, Tom Brady, nice game, 341, 3 touchdowns. Seems like everyone's throwing for 340 and 2 or 3 touchdowns in the NFL.
Crazy.
It's insane.
It's frustrating.
Yeah,
Except for Ben.
I kind of want to see the defenses win sometimes. It's literally like, all right, cool, touchdown. Okay, cool. Hey, we stopped him. No, flag. You didn't stop him.
Bro. Yeah, it's really annoying.
It's kind of getting it's too much.
It's like there needs to be one less down or something.
Yeah, the only way they
you only
stop
get
him.
one. You get 3 tries now.
It's like arena football. So Sony Michel, back-to-back good games.
Oh my God, bonerific.
Oh.
He was worrying me at the beginning. It was frustrating because we were up to 24-3. I won't, or 21
Yeah,
to 3.
they had a good margin.
Yeah, it was 24-3, and then fucking Tom Brady still passing the ball. I know it's still the first half, but it was so frustrating. I'm like, dude, you have a running back. Use this motherfucker. It was driving me nuts, but he ended up doing well in the end.
Yeah, he had that 34-yard touchdown run, which helped a lot.
Which I do
when it comes to like Michelle and the Patriots backs, like if you're someone who's worried, I've mentioned on the podcast before, is find the game script where New England's going to be favored and they're at home. And those are the game scripts where you can feel comfortable starting the head honcho of the running back committee. And this was a game where the Patriots figured to be in a lead, and Sony Michel, had 18 carries and a touchdown. So, if you're a person who's skeptical about Patriots running backs, like this is, the matchups where I've said you just follow the game script where they're going to be a heavy favorite and be winning, and the running back will get fed. So this is a good example of what I've pointed out.
Following the game script's huge. Like that's what I ended up doing, and one of the kids I played against, he's like, dude, you got lucky because I played Andrew Luck, and then I had Sony Michel and Gronk.
Yeah.
And I had other running backs that I could have played, but he's like, bro, you got lucky on that touchdown at the end by Sony or whatever, and Andrew Luck rushing in or whatever. But it's like. Yeah, I knew that the Patriots would probably be winning this game. I hoped that they would run the ball. I was getting scared for a while that he wasn't. And then ends up Andrew Luck throwing the shit out of the ball towards the end, way more than he wanted to.
Yeah, it's kind of like you said, you predicted. Yeah, you figured the Patriots be up.
So it's like, I didn't get luck. I mean, it's for sure luck, I guess.
Some luck involved, yeah.
Yeah, but if you read these game scripts, you can see what's going to happen in the future and actually play your players as you should. Yeah,
and that's why it's good to pay attention to like over-unders. That's something we're going to start trying to mentioning in the matchups is like if you see a 56-point over-under, like chances are, Vegas is saying that's going to be a high-scoring game. Chances are you want to fire up some guys that are going to be in that matchup. Now, if you see a 43-point over-under on the opposite end, this is a game where it figures to be less scoring. So you might want to temper your expectations for those players in those type of matchups.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty average.
We can probably move on to the receivers real quick. James White, nice game. I feel like you got to start James White at this point. He's just a PPR monster. He's just going out there, just catching balls after balls and touchdowns. I think he has almost touchdown in 4 to 5 games.
He had 0 rushing yards and like 20 points in fantasy.
As
a running back.
In PPR, he had over 20.
Yeah, it's so crazy, dude.
Gronk, nice to see him kind of come back from the dead in a sense. 6 for 75, not a bad game from Gronk. Julian Edelman, his first game back, 7 for 57.
It seems like they targeted him a lot in the first half, and they kind of dwindled towards the end.
Yeah, he could have had actually a bigger game. I saw him drop like a 30-yard catch, wide open on the sidelines.
That's right.
So that might be a game, 7 for 57. I think that's going to be kind of the norm for Edelman in a PPR. He's never been a big touchdown guy, but it's nice to see him get that many targets in his first game back. So, you can feel comfortable going forward, that he's going to see a good amount of targets.
A must play, I think.
Hogan, we talked about dropping him.
Yeah, it's okay if you drop him at this point.
I think at this point, he's just 3 for 34. That's the best game I think he's had all year target-wise and yard-wise.
Sure, he might have a breakout game randomly, but don't.
It's going to be hard to predict. Josh Gordon, 2 for 50 and a touchdown. It was kind of just like a Hail Mary touchdown, but that
touchdown, I don't know how the fuck the way he broke away from coverage and then caught that, it was very lucky, it seemed like.
It was like Brady was like sitting in the pocket. He baked a cake real quick. He pointed to Josh Gordon. He's like, hey.
He baked a cake.
This is for you.
Beat his meat.
He's like, if you drop this, you're dead to me.
Pleased his wife.
And he's like, I got this. He's like, watch me just make this guy fall and just catch everything over everybody.
Dude, I think Sony Michel was wide open on the left-hand side. And right when that play happened, I was like, oh, come on. Because he had so much room to run.
Yeah.
Whatever.
If you're a Josh Gordon owner, it's nice to see that he scored a touchdown. He's earning some confidence from Brady. I wouldn't. They play the Chiefs next week, so maybe that's a matchup where you feel okay rolling him out there. Maybe he gets some more snaps. So it's just good to see if you're a Josh Gordon owner holding out hope that maybe he can be a contributor in the second half of the year for you.
Okay. Anything else you want to touch on that Thursday night game?
Nah.
It's a fun game to watch.
Tyler, you got anything?
I was trying to do a cricket. That doesn't. That's not a cricket at all. Want to go to the park?
Good analysis, Tyler.
Anyways.
All right, thanks.
Let's get over to the Broncos and Jets game I was so eager to get into earlier. It's in New York. It's a pick-em, so Vegas says, who knows? 42.5 over-under. And when we're talking about these over-unders, if you're not in Las Vegas, you don't understand it took me a while to understand over under. But what that is an accumulated score between both teams. You're betting whether or not it's going to be over that or under that. So if they put it higher at like a 50-something spread, then that means that they're thinking that this is going to be a high-scoring game.
Dude, those glasses are on, and now you're just dropping some
Dude,
knowledge
I'm
for people.
fucking so smart.
You're fucking wicked smart over there.
Anyways, so it's a 42.5 over/under, which is pretty average. Like I feel like a 43 to 45 is like a pretty. It's kind of a little bit lower, but yeah, it's pretty a little less than average.
Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar, I would say that a decent spread or over/under would probably be about 47 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right. That it probably moved up. I would say 45 usually, but probably 47 is going to be more middle.
Yeah,
now,
if you
with
see
all
like
these touchdowns that are fucking happening.
Yeah, they're just flying out. If you see a 50 game or 50 plus, that means it's probably Vegas thinks it's going to be a high scoring game.
That means it's the Saints playing usually,
or the Steelers.
Yeah, now this year, fucking
the Steelers and Falcons.
Usually it's not.
I think it's 57 point over under. We'll check on that a little later.
Yeah, it's 57.5.
So the Broncos, we're going to try and fly through these a little quicker. We're going to see how far we can get. We try and keep the episodes to an hour, so people who have ADD like us can finish an episode before your attention spans roll off.
Right.
So Broncos. Case Keenum, no start at this point. He hasn't thrown a touchdown in 2 or 3 games. Lindsey and Freeman, you can start both of them. They're at least flex plays in this matchup.
I feel much more comfortable with Lindsey.
Yeah, I do like that Vance
Especially
Joseph came out and said that we need to get Royce Freeman the ball more.
Or how about don't give Devontae Booker the fucking ball,
And that's what I was going to get is like, hopefully this is just the disappearance of Devontae Booker.
My God.
And we can have a full like kind of Kamara Ingram type of situation. Like, hey, we could start both these guys every week.
Hey, Booker, if you're feeling bad, like we're talking shit, dude, I could get you a job at my work. Like, you'll be good, man. Don't worry about it.
All right. I think everyone's just hoping that Booker will go away.
Dude, retire, guy. I've only been in the league for 2 years. Fuck, dude.
They just put him in for the 2-minute drills, and it's like, why is he even out there?
Yeah,
why?
It's annoying.
Maybe him and Vance Joseph are like friends offside. He's like, hey, don't worry, I got you. 2 minutes?
Maybe they do blow together or something.
But you have the, I mean,
Whenever I
Miami's
see
spine
that
coach did
suspect
blow.
relationship, I'm like, dude, they're definitely doing blow together.
Emmanuel Sanders, you're starting him up. He's an every week wide receiver 2 at this point. That was the paper.
Oh.
Demarius Thomas, you got to be sitting Demarius Thomas at this point. He hasn't shown much. He doesn't look like he's the same speed. Cortland Sutton looks like the better receiver. His targets have the first 2 games he was a double-digit targets. The last 2 it's 5 and 7. With Keenum not playing good, Demarius Thomas is sit at this point. Mike, you got anything on the Broncos players at all?
No, just that Lindsey over. I prefer Lindsey over Royce. And that's it.
Okay. Yeah, they're both flex starts.
Yeah.
And there's the bye weeks are hitting now, so if you need an RB2, you can plug both of those in there and feel comfortable with it. Jets side, move over to the Jets.
We got the mysterious Crowell who got 30 yards last week, and that was it.
Yeah. It seems like Crowell at this point, this isn't a highest powered offense. This is a game, though, where I think the Jets are going to be in it. Possibly, I actually like the Jets to win this game straight up. So this a possibility that Crowell, you're making for him to get in the end zone. So I think in a PPR, I would avoid Crowell. But if you're in a standard, considering that the game flow, like we mentioned game flow earlier, the game flow might be in his favor. So he might be, if you just need a desperation running back play, someone you can throw in there. Powell, he outsnapped him last week, but
see, for me, I'm not. With Denver's, they have a pretty good run defense. I feel like I'm not starting either.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Like I said, this is just a desperation. Like you're in a bind. If you have a decent option, I would start any decent. I would start Kerryon Johnson over Crowell and Powell. Aaron Jones, I'd be starting over these guys. I'm trying to think of some names off head. Lindsey and Freeman on the other side, I'd be starting over both these guys. They're just basically desperation running backs at this point. So you know they're not going to give you a 0, and you're kind of just banking on a touchdown out of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then Quincy Enunwa, he's the only really option you even consider in this game. I believe he has double-digit targets. He has 10, 11, 8, and 8. So in a PPR format, Quincy Enunwa is someone you can feel free playing and feel confident about
10, 11, 8 receptions or targets.
He's just he's Sam Darnold's boy. Yeah. Sam Darnold's like, hey, Quincy,
he's like,
I'm going to look at this guy and I'm going to throw it to you.
Both our names, first letters are towards the end of the alphabet. We homies, dog.
Nice analysis.
I don't know how I really. Okay. Anyways.
Jets D. I like Jets D as a top 5 play this week, top 10 play at least.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Keenum
Keenum's
just blowing
just one touchdown, throwing picks. It's in New York. You could probably maybe start the Broncos D2 and not have a terrible output because it is still a rookie quarterback. Like we mentioned that this is a low over under, so both these you can start in this.
Yeah.
All right, we can get on the next one.
Yeah, we're going to go into Packers are playing the Detroit Lions in Detroit. The over is a little higher. It's over under 51. That makes sense for Packers. I would almost take the over on that too, just because it's so. The Lions.
Yeah, I think it might be a little lower just based off the Packers are dealing with a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think you would see this at like a 55, 56, something like that. So we'll touch on the Packers. Rodgers, you're starting. The receivers, you really got to watch the injury report. It could be anywhere from Devontae Adams, Allison, Cobb's already ruled out. You just got to watch the injury report.
I feel like Allison will play because this is a concussion, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, if he can get cleared, there's still hope he can get cleared. Yeah. So if he gets cleared and Devontae Adams is out, you're firing Geronimo Allison because he is the only one with chemistry.
I feel like the NFL pretends like, oh yeah, we're looking out for the play, or like, but dude, when someone's got a concussion, like I never really think that that's a real injury. I'm just like, dude, your brain's a little fuzzy. What the fuck? but we'll see. Maybe
he just ran into the wall, but he's good. They're running out.
Concussions are so serious.
They're running out to the tunnel, and you're like, "Hey, you're going the wrong way."
That's what happened with Villanueva when he did the Pledge of Allegiance. Jesus Christ, I'm not even going to talk now. I'm talking about remember the fucking anthem when the anthem plays.
The national anthem.
Yeah. They like Steelers. The Steelers. The Pledge of Allegiance.
Do you remember the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America. To the republic
which it stands.
One nation.
Oh, dude. Yeah, we know it.
I used to just mumble that part.
Your whole life, you never knew the Pledge of Allegiance.
I knew most of it. I got farther than you did.
We're unpatriotic as fuck.
We'll get back on point. Okay. Jimmy Graham. Great start this week. I think you're starting him if you have him anyways.
Sorry.
Jimmy Graham pledges to the allegiance of the flag a lot.
Pledges to the allegiance of getting touchdowns.
This could be one of those Jimmy Graham games where when you drafted him hoping for double-digit upside, he could get into the end zone multiple times based off the weapons. Aaron Jones, I think he's a flex play running back in this matchup. Jamal Williams, I don't feel comfortable starting. I think he's kind of getting weeded into the third man in this rotation.
Yeah.
And then we have Ty Montgomery. If the receivers are out, Ty Montgomery is an X-wide receiver turned running back. So if you're in a PPR format and you see that all these guys are out, he could have that James White type of game where you're looking at maybe 4 or 5 rushes, but he might have, 10, 12 receptions in a game.
You could see early 2017 season numbers from Ty Montgomery.
Yeah, or even late 2016. I used to start him back in 2016 in PPR because he would get like 10, 12 receptions for like 50 yards and get me 20-something, and you'd be like, it's going to go 20 points, and he has 50 yards. Just pepper with targets.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We'll move over to the Lions side. Matthew Stafford, good start in this game. You have Stafford, top 10 play.
Terrible secondary on the Packers side, so yeah.
Kerryon Johnson, how do you feel? I think he's a RB2 flex with upside.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, I have Kerryon Johnson, but I also drafted him super late. So I have tons of other people I'd rather play over him. This is probably a game where I would actually feel okay playing him, but as a flex play. I don't, just because I don't think he's getting the receptions that all these other backs are getting. But yeah, it's just the fact that he broke the record for the Lions to get 100 yards in a game, they haven't had one. How long was it?
Since 2013, I believe.
Yeah, it's like, dude, just hearing that, it's just like, okay, yes, I think he's gonna be the star there, but I don't know.
Matt Patricia came out and said he was like, I think he's getting enough work. So I own Kerryon Johnson in almost every league, and I'm kind of like, dude, come on, He's good. He's good. The Garrett Blount, he's old. He used to be good, but he ain't good no more.
Let's get on the Patriots somehow.
I was looking at Pro Football Focus metrics, and Kerryon Johnson his metrics. It gets really scientific when you look into it. But basically, what Pro Football Focus is went into is that Kerryon Johnson is a top 3 efficiency back in the NFL when he gets the ball in his hands, and LeGarrette Blount's like a bottom 25. So hopefully the Lions, see that we need to give him more work. I think he's a high upside, he's a high upside type of play this week. He could have another 100-yard game just because he's that talented. He could maybe get 2-3 receptions. Is it likely? No. But if you are in a pinch, and the running back can get really thin really fast if you've had injuries. So if you just want a running back play with some massive upside, go ahead and start carrying on and see what happens. This is going to be a high-scoring game. So there's chances that they throw it to Marvin Jones, he falls out at the 2, and, carry on gets in. Or carry on takes a 40-yard touchdown run because this isn't a very good defense. So he could break that Sony Michel type of 40-yard touchdown run.
Right.
All 3 receivers, I think you're starting all 3 at this point.
I have
Stafford
Tate locked in my wide receiver 2 spot.
Yeah, if you're in a PPR,
I haven't moved him all season.
Yeah, he's been a monster in PPR. You're starting Galladay upside. Marvin Jones, watch it because he did pop up on the injury report. So make sure you check your injury reports, and it's not like a Chris Carson thing. And you go to look at your lineup on Sunday, and you're like, oh, he's out.
Yeah.
So check that. The defense. I don't think I want to start any defense in this matchup.
Me neither.
All right, what's going next?
Yeah, there's something better there than those defenses.
Dang good.
Let's go over it. We're going to talk about the New York Giants are playing the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. The over-under is 43.5. The Panthers are favored by almost a touchdown.
Almost a touchdown?
Yeah.
Giants side. We'll start with the Giants. Eli Manning, I don't know. He's just not looking good. He has even Odell basically saying – he was questioned in an interview, Odell, why aren't you guys throwing the ball down the field, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, that's a good question. I don't know why we're not throwing it down the field more than 20 yards. He's keeping everything underneath. He's not a quarterback you're considering at this point. Odell, you're still starting Odell because, he's Odell.
Yeah.
You're not going to bench him. I feel like he's due to score.
Yeah, he will. It's the same thing with Julio. He's going to be in the end zone soon.
Yeah, except Odell showed a history of being a touchdown monster. He's had 12, 13 touchdowns in a season.
I was looking at his stat. It was from him, and from this part of his season right now to his rookie season, he has almost exactly the same stats. If not, I think he has 2 extra receptions. It's by week 4 of his first year in the NFL. It was it's almost exactly the same, and he ended up finishing really well in that first year, I think. Right, that was
his rookie year. He played in 8 or 9 games or something like that. I can look up the stats, but he was pretty solid once he came back from his rookie year. And maybe that calling out is not a calling out, but maybe the media kind of saying stuff about Eli might make him open up a little bit more,
right?
Or even the offensive coordinator be like, hey, we need to take some shots to Odell.
You see that a lot, when receivers are kind of bitching or the people start asking, then they almost force it to that person. Then they end up having a good week the next week. It happened with Odell when he was slamming and hitting the net. Remember?
Yeah.
What was that, 2 years ago? And the same thing with AB last year. He had a little fucking freak out on the side of the field with Todd Haley and stuff.
Yeah, remember?
And then guess what? The next week, they showed up. So if you have Odell, don't panic. I think he's coming back.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard. He has a nice cornerback matchup this week. The Panthers do have a good defense. I think you're considering Shepard in your flex play. There's other options I'd probably, if you're looking at a receiver flex, I don't know how this game's going to be for the Giants through the passing game. Carolina is good. They had 2 weeks to prepare for them, so this could be kind of a limited passing game matchup. So I'd maybe consider benching Shepard at this point if you have better options.
Yeah.
And then Barkley, you're firing up Barkley in this matchup. You're not even considering benching him.
Right.
To the Panthers side, Mr. Cam Newton, you're starting Cam Newton in this matchup. Christian McCaffrey, pretty simple. You're starting Christian McCaffrey. Devin Funchess, it's a tough matchup for him with the Janoris Jenkins, but if you follow the website, I did post that games without Greg Olsen and 6 foot Groot. Did I say Kelvin Benjamin in the beginning? I meant Devin Funchess.
No, you said Devin Funchess.
Did I say Devin Funchess?
Yeah.
Games without 6 foot Groot and Greg Olsen, he's had at least 65 yards in every one of those games.
Right.
And he's had a floor of 9 points and a ceiling anywhere to 20-plus points. So it's a tough matchup, but you figure Cam Newton's going to throw the ball some and score some touchdowns. So I think he's a flex wide receiver in this matchup.
Yeah, I like Funchess this week.
Mr. Funchess.
Then we'll go. That's it on that game. Let's go over to Titans are playing the Buffalo. We thought no-win Bills, but that's in Buffalo. That over-under is really, really low. It's at 39.5.
Ooh.
which is kind of weird. I think it's just I think it's just Buffalo can't score.
That's an ugly over under.
Yeah.
Buffalo. You're not starting anybody. I don't even think you're starting McCoy realistically at this point. He's not getting the ball, the ribs.
I'm so glad I don't have McCoy this year.
I think you got to bench McCoy at this point until you see a 20 carry game and maybe 5 or 6 targets, and you know you're going to get guaranteed volume. You're benching him at this point.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Let's just go back over to the Titans. Deion Lewis, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry at this point, if he doesn't show it after this game, I think he's droppable at this point.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a last chance in my eyes, as if I'm a Derrick Henry owner.
And we've talked about it, I think, all the time when we end up talking about Titans running backs, but we said it in the preseason. Do not draft Derrick Henry. We said it. And it was crazy because he was getting drafted ahead of Deion Lewis in a lot of leagues. So it's like, if you pay attention, I swear, we're giving out good information here.
We got some decent points out here every once in a while.
All right.
Yeah, we said in the pre-draft process that his price was high. Just a really high price for a lot of red flags and question marks.
Yeah.
That almost everything needed to go right. He needed to get the ball inside the 5 a lot of times and have goal line work for sure, but him and Deion Lewis have the same goal line work at this point. So, what you drafted him on, he's not even getting what you drafted him for right now. Deion Lewis, how comfortable do you feel with
I like Deion Lewis this week. I'm not playing him in the one league I have him in just because I had better options. I had Sony Michel and Melvin Gordon. So it's like I wanted to see Sony Michel play well, and then I don't know, I plugged him in that way. But I do think it's a good week for him. I would start him in my flex.
I think this could be more of a Derrick Henry volume week, just because the Titans figure to be ahead in this matchup. So I think they might just try and ground and pound more, and that's more of like Derrick Henry's big butt. Even though Deion Lewis is better at it, it's just weird. As weird as it sounds, it might lead more towards Derrick Henry type of game flow. Marcus Mariota, he had a good week last week. I want to see it for one more week before I feel comfortable throwing him out there. Maybe it was more of the elbow thing. It seems to be gone, but for all we know, they might try and, like we said, this could be an early lead. Let's ground and pound and let's get the win and get out of here.
Yeah.
So in that, Corey Davis is probably the only receiver you consider. He's just been such a high target volume. I know he goes against Tre'Davious White, who's been a good cornerback, but when you have a receiver who's going to see 10, 12 targets and moves into the slot pretty consistently, I'm having a hard time benching him.
Right.
Just based off of the fact that if I'm in a PPR, I think he's going to catch the ball at least 5 times in this matchup.
Sure. Let's go over to the Atlanta Falcons playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh.
I'll start the Titans D.
Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead. Keep going. I just wanted to throw that in there.
You said start the Titans.
Yeah, if they're on the waiver wire, still grab them because that's going to be a good start.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Mike.
You could, if you're streaming defenses, you could just stream against Bills every week, unless they play a top 10 defense, and someone probably has them. But yeah, let's get Atlanta Falcons playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. The over/under is 57.5. Pittsburgh's actually favored in this game. I think just because it's at home.
It's at home, yeah.
But yeah, this is if we lose this game,
there's so many points we're both stretching out.
57.5.
They score a lot.
Start everyone.
Yeah, literally. Start everyone. You could even.
Would you start? How about let's go wide receivers for the Falcons? Would you start Mohamed Sanu?
I think you can. The way the NFL is looking this year, there's in
so
high scoring
like
matchups, 3 wide receivers can all have good games. If you're in
you see that with Detroit every week almost.
Yeah, you see it with the Rams. The Falcons have done it now.
Yeah.
The Steelers have, they have Juju and Antonio Brown, and like Vance McDonald's been doing good.
Yeah.
It's what I've noticed is teams don't really have a tight end. They're kind of almost making their third receiver a tight end.
Yeah.
Those targets, they're like, why are we going to throw it to a lackluster talent in the tight end position when we could just run 3 wide receiver sets and use this more athletic guy to get open and instead of funneling it to a tight end?
I like Austin Hooper this game.
Yeah, I think he's got some sleepers.
I hate him because he fucked me last year out of a win because I played him instead of Jason Witt.
Did he wear Jimmy?
Okay, he had that game where he had that long. This is why you can't fall. If you see someone have 80 yards and a touchdown, look how many. If it was off of one play, because this is what I did last year. I took Austin Hooper after that week. He had that 80-yard touchdown, Then I played him instead of Jason Witten. Jason Witten like went off, got like 30 points, and then I ended up losing that week because Austin Hooper got me like 2.4 points maybe. So, but I hate this dude. But I actually am playing him in a league. I lost my tight end. I lost Will Disley last week. So then I picked up Austin Hooper, and I like him this week.
Super high over under, super high amount of target. Matt Ryan might throw for 400 with 50, 60 pass attempts, and they can't all go to the receivers. So, Steelers side, you're starting James Conner's a flex RB2 in this matchup. Vance McDonald, he's showed enough to where you got to start him at this point. Antonio Brown, Juju, you're starting. Big Ben, you're starting. Anyone else you can think of in these matchups? You're benching the defenses because this is probably going to be, unless you want negative points.
Yeah, the person I'm playing against has a Steelers D. I'm like, sick.
Nice
dude.
move.
Oh, cool.
You could probably start no defense and do better.
Watch the Steelers fucking get like forced fumbles, pick six. All
They put up a 40 burger against you and you lose, and you're just like, God damn it.
Yeah, but that's not gonna happen.
All right, Ravens and Browns next matchup.
Yep, Ravens are playing in Cleveland, which doesn't actually Browns look good this year, but Ravens do too. 46.5 over under on that one.
46.5. So it's decent over under.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco. We'll start on the Ravens side.
John Brown, fire him up.
Fire him. Like I said last week, he was one of my sleepers I snuck in there. Like I've started him in every league. He's the number one target. I
started him last week too.
He has the most air yards. In the NFL, he leads in air yards. He just gets targeted deep.
Yeah.
Flacco has a connection. He throws a deep ball. I mean, he's not going to get you 9 catches in a game, but he's probably going to get you 5. If he gets you 5 catches, he's going to probably average at least 20. So he's going to probably go for over 100 yards more often than not. And he's been showing some red zone upside. So you're starting John Brown. He's borderline a must start, especially in this matchup. Michael Crabtree, he just hasn't shown me much. I wouldn't feel confident starting him.
I've had him sitting on my bench this entire season.
I think you're just banking on him like getting into the end zone, which is there's so many receiver options that I don't want to bank on an end zone.
Yeah.
Or I'm saying just on your roster, probably there's so many receiver options where I feel like you're banking on Crabtree to get into the end zone in order to be startable.
Right.
The running backs, you can start both of them at this point. They're both getting volume. It figures to be a tight game. They might even be ahead in this.
I've seen people dropping Alex Collins.
I wouldn't drop him.
But I've seen people do it though.
I mean,
so I'm just saying, check your
waiver wires. What are you saying? He's still getting work. He's still getting touchdowns. I'm gonna look at his points to see how he's been throughout the year.
Because he fumbled this past week, I think.
And sometimes some people are over dramatic. Well, like they'll good game. Oh, I'm starting this guy this week. Bad game. I hate him. He sucks. I'm benching him.
Yeah.
So there are people who are like that. You got to kind of it's a long season. Roll with the punches because sometimes your guy's gonna have a bad game. Sometimes he's gonna have a good game. If they're not Todd Gurley or Ezekiel Elliott or the running back, you just got to roll with the punches.
Right.
2 touchdown receivers, quarterback Flacco. Decent streaming option. They've been throwing the ball a ton. He's thrown for over 300 yards. He averages over 300 and 2 touchdowns. With Mayfield, I mean, maybe they're more faster paced now because the Raiders did put up a ton of points against them last week. So as streaming option, but there's probably better options out there that you have. Let's move to the Brown side.
Are you playing Baker?
No, not yet. This is a tough Ravens defense. They're second in yards in the NFL. Hayden Hurst is a tight end to keep an eye on. If he has a good week this week, he might be someone you want to go out and grab this week.
Yeah.
Tyler, what do you have to say about Hayden Hurst? I know you're big on him.
Tyler, what do you got to say?
Wait. Is that what you got to say, Tyler?
Wait, hold on.
Okay. All right, good
Tyler,
analysis.
what do you think? Wait, Tyler, what do you think about Hayden Hurst?
I think that Hayden Hurst he plays with ball and he likes to throw the ball, even though he doesn't throw the ball. He likes it.
Wow, dude, that was really dumb. Okay, don't let Tyler talk anymore.
No one listen to Tyler.
Yeah, fuck, dude.
When he's not here in person, his analysis isn't the same.
Honest, dude, I think Tyler's just a little dumb, dude.
I think he's
not fucking smart.
I think those allergies are getting to him.
Sometimes when he looks at me, I'm just like, there ain't nothing going on up there, is there?
I'm like, how am I related to him?
Yeah, fuck, dude. Yeah, dude. Oh, man, that's rough.
We share the same last name.
Yikes.
Then he comes out with these silent analysis, and I'm like, bro, I don't know if we share the same last name anymore.
Damn, yeah, that's yucky.
Watch him come home mid-episode. All right, so Browns.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
No.
It's just a tough matchup for him.
Yeah.
He's a rookie. The Ravens defense is second in the NFL in yards. He's going to have a hard time. Could he have a big game? Yeah, but
Yeah,
I don't
think
want
so either.
so many quarterback options. I don't want to roll the dice. Carlos Hyde, I think based off of volume, he's someone you got to start at this point.
People are getting scared with this whole Nick Chubb thing. I have faith. I'm starting Carlos Hyde this week.
I mean, it's Hugh Jackson. He said he wanted to give Crewell the ball 500 times, and he gave it to him like 150. So who knows? Little Hugh Jackson over there. You got to start Carlos Hyde. He leads the league in carries. He gets goal line work. So it might not be the sexiest game, but you just based off of volume, you just got to start him in this matchup.
Sure.
And then receiver wise, Jarvis Landry, you're starting him. Callaway had a bad game. There's talk of him getting less work. I'm not starting any of the other receivers. Njoku, I think he's a decent tight end option in this.
Yeah. Tight ends, everybody's losing tight ends left and right.
Tight ends he's an athlete and he can score a touchdown. And he breathes. But I guess you got to start him.
And he breathes.
And he breathes.
You said he breathes.
He breathes.
And dude, he fucks.
He
bro.
breathes. I mean, he breathes like African princes.
Oh yeah, right. He's supposed to be like African
he's a
royalty.
prince. He's like he technically doesn't even need to play NFL to make money. He's that rich.
There's a kid that I went to church with that he said he was African royalty. I think he was because we dropped him off at his house once after church, and it was this big ass house, dude. His name is Chima.
What was his name?
Chima. Yeah. My dad's so.
Chima, if your family wants to sponsor the podcast, we'll get you on here.
Okay.
All right, move on to the next matchup.
Let's go to your Miami Dolphins.
Oh, wait, start the Ravens D.
Oh.
I'm just gonna keep sneaking the D's in the last
Yeah,
second.
for sure. When you say that, I keep thinking that you want to go talk about the Ravens defense. But yeah, start them. Sure.
All right, go back to your intro for the Miami Dolphins.
Okay, your Miami Dolphins. You know they say that at the stadium.
Oh yeah.
Give a big round of applause for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Anyways, yeah, sure. So the Dolphins are playing the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati.
I don't think you start any Dolphin at this point.
Over-under's 49.
Ryan Tannehill, this line, right, let me speak from a Dolphins perspective. Like the Miami Dolphins, we had a decent line going into the year. That's why you saw some success from Drake out of the backfield, Gore out of the backfield. But we've lost 3 starting linemen at this point. So I think it's going to, when we're very thin in the backup part, so we're going to have difficulty running the ball, keeping Tannehill upright. I think there's not a receiver because we throw to so many receivers that you even really feel comfortable starting. Kenny Stills might be the only one. If you want a deep ball guy or someone who can go out there and catch a 50-yard bomb, then take your shot on Stills. Otherwise, as a Dolphin fan, I mean, I think I'm benching everyone I have this week if I'm any Dolphins, and I'm a Dolphins fan.
Yeah.
I'm as black as white because I have to be when it comes to this and keep my feelings
You're
to the side.
as black as white.
I'm as black and white when it comes to the Dolphins. I have to be. If I was an optimist, I'd be like, dude, start Kenny and Drake.
Yeah.
He's got 4.5
You'd be like
yards
your
after
dad.
contact. Yeah,
You'd be
but
like your dad last year when he drafted Jarvis Landry in the first round.
yeah,
Didn't
it
he?
paid off. It really did.
Yeah, I mean that works, but
The Bengals side, Andy Dalton's been playing lights out.
I picked up Bengals defense really quick. I picked up Bengals defense in this one.
Do you think this is the red rifle trap game though, where the Andy Dalton that always screws you over shows up? And I think it's a possibility that it could be this week.
What? That
Andy,
he
it
fucks
just
you?
seems like Andy Dalton's that quarterback when you start to trust him and get ready to fire him out there.
you're
He
like,
just goes.
Come on. Yeah.
I mean, I think he's a good streaming option this week. Miami's beat up on the defense. I guess the chances is that could happen, or it could happen. But I think you start him. AJ Green's a good start.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon's a good start, even though he's coming off a knee injury.
What about for
because
Cincinnati?
Gio's out for 2 or 4 weeks?
Cincinnati's tight ends. Who do you think it's going to be? Tyler Croft, right? Or do you
I think it's a
gonna
flip
be
of the coin between the Tomb Raider and the Usha Mama.
Who's your mama?
Who's your mama?
Who's your mama? Who's your
CJ
mama?
Usha Mama.
Who is your mama?
Who's your mama?
Yeah, because I still think I feel like it's like they want to put that fool in, but they know they know Tyler Croft. They've seen him.
Speaking
do
of
well.
Tyler, what do you have to say about the Titans?
Yeah, what do you have to say, Tyler?
Tyler Croft is probably gonna be my sleeper in the week because my name is Tyler and his name is Tyler. So yeah.
All right, good job, Tyler.
Yeah, good input, dude.
Good input, bro.
Way to go, man. You're so fucking smart.
He's wicked smart.
Yeah.
You were saying about the tight ends.
But yeah, I really think that I feel like they just know Tyler Croft though. Like they know what he's capable of, but they kind of don't know what they're gonna get.
They kind of want to see what they get out of CJ Uzomah.
Yeah, I think. But so yeah, I mean, so maybe he could blow up, but I think they're gonna throw him in there, see what happens, and then they're gonna end up using Tyler Croft.
Maybe if he has a good game, we could change his name to CJ. Who's your daddy?
Yeah. Who is
your daddy, and what does he do?
Watch, he doesn't have a dad. It's fucked up.
All right, so we're going. Well, anyways,
that's all the morning games. I don't know if we're at 40 minutes. I don't know if you want to go into the afternoon games.
You forgot the Chefs and then the Jaguars.
Was that in the morning?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
10 a.m.
Fuck me. My bad. Wait, really?
Yeah, 10 a.m.
Wait.
Bengals D. You can start Bengals D. Miami's line's beat up.
I picked up Bengals defense.
Did you?
To start this week. Yeah.
I think they picked you up.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, you didn't even know to say back right there,
dude. Fuck, I'm so stupid. All right, Chiefs, Jaguars playing Chiefs in Kansas City. Chiefs just had a big win on the road against the Broncos. 49-point over under on that one. I felt like you were listening, but not. Anyways,
you're right.
Chiefs are -3 in this. Yeah, let's start with Jaguars. What's going on with Leonard Fournette, TJ Yeldon? The fuck's happening?
Let's start with Jaguars, like multiple Jaguars.
Yeah. Let's start with Cheetahs, dude. Why isn't a team named Cheetahs? How about change the name Tampa Bay Buccaneers? That's the gayest name ever. Change that to the Cheetahs, dude. Cheetah-licious.
I think if that was a Twitter vote, it would get like 0 votes.
The Cheetahs, that's so gay. Dude, but the Panthers, though. Oh, wait, they're already a team. Fuck. Sorry, dude.
All right, so we'll get to the Jaguars. Blake Bortles, he's been playing pretty decent. The Chiefs have a terrible defense, so I think Blake Bortles is someone you could feel pretty confident streaming. You know, I'd rather maybe go with more of I don't know. This game is tough because the Jaguars are a really tough defense, but Mahomes has almost been unstoppable at this point. So if the Jaguars get out to an early lead, I could see this turning into a decent scoring game at some point. So I think Blake Bortles is a pretty decent option in this matchup.
Whenever I think of Blake Bortles, I think of Squirtle from Pokemon. Blake Squirtles.
Squirtles.
That's what I think of every time. Anyways.
Yeah,
but I don't
hate the idea of streaming Blake Squirtles is what I'm saying.
Yeah, Blake Squirtles is a good spot here.
He might turn into a full-on Bulbasaur.
Yeah, what is it called?
Is that the guy he evolves
Bulbasaur is not. No, dude. Bulbasaur is the plant one. That's the green.
No, it's not. That's Venusaur.
Yeah, Bulbasaur is the starting part.
Bulbasaur is the big guy it's
Wartortle.
No, Bortles is a little shit. Then it goes to War.
No, you just said Bortles is a little shit. Wait, dude. Wait, I gotta look up this Pokemon really quick.
We know Tyler here, and we start talking about Pokemon.
Wait, Venusaur. See, Venusaur is the plant one.
Yeah, but I'm saying like Bortles is Bulbasaur is the little guy.
Squirtles is this one.
Okay, and then who's after Squirtle?
Squirtle's evolution. He turned to Blastoise, Wartortle and Blastoise.
Who's Bulbasaur then?
Bulbasaur is the starting out.
I just got so confused.
Bulbasaur is the starting out point of Venusaur. Fucking uncultured
is it Venusaur?
Bitch.
All right, you're right. Maybe it's because you had a lot of plant. That's why you knew about plants.
Dude, no, because I that one.
I just went over your head.
I got a lot of plant.
Maybe you could just because you just had a lot of plant.
Plant.
Never mind.
I'm missing something. No, because
basically I was saying maybe because you're high. That's why you're thinking about trees.
No, dude, I don't do that. Anyways, But dude, because I had Pokemon Green, and then that was like they were like choose your Pokemon. I picked the green one, and I was like, yeah, that's my dude. So Venusaur, that's how I knew. I was like, bitch, you don't even know.
You're wicked smart. I shouldn't argue with the scientist.
Yeah, bro, come on.
You're like a Pokemon scientist now.
Anyway, what are we at? Bortles?
The Jaguars.
Okay, I don't
Blake
like
Squirtles.
Okay, wait, can we talk? Let's do TJ Yeldon.
TJ Yeldon.
Leonard
Jinx.
Fournette. Okay, dude, that guy fucking. Can we just say, dude, he dropped that touchdown. Did you see that?
No, you've been talking about it for 2 weeks, and I keep saying no.
Well, 2 weeks.
I'm never
It
gonna watch
happened,
it.
on Sunday. I showed Tyler, but it was. You know how they're supposed to review every touchdown? It's like I'm like they didn't even fucking look at that. This dude threw the ball. I swear.
Maybe the line judge has, or referee judge has TJ Yeldon on his fantasy team.
Maybe. It could.
They're like, should we review this? He's like, oh, my mom's calling. It's like, I don't think he scored. Wait, hold on.
I think
guys.
I think you might be right.
He's checking his fantasy score. He's like,
Because they didn't even talk about it at all. I'm like, yo, at least like, how the fuck? I don't know. Maybe I'm just retarded. I don't know. Anyways, TJ Yeldon, Leonard Fournette still out. Yeah.
Yeah, nice start. As long as Fournette's out, you're starting Yeldon every week.
Yeah.
The receivers, you got Keelan Cole and D.D. Westbrook and Dante Moncrief. I feel like it's almost coming down to like a pick your poison at this point. If it's another week of D.D. showing that he's going to be the target leader and the guy, I think you got to transfer your. I think Keelan Cole's the number one as of now, but if it's another week of D.D., it might end up being D.D. that we got to look forward from going forward at this point as the number one in this offense.
I'm not touching any Jaguars wide receivers.
Yeah, I think you could have anywhere from a massive 100-yard game out of him to a 2 for 32. So it's kind of just if you're feeling one and that's your gut call, go for it. But as far as if I'm going and I'm starting Jaguars receiver in this game, I'm not picking any of them.
Right.
I want to find more of a surefire option, just because it's so hard to predict between those three right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my analysis on it, my science.
You can way to science that down. Tight end, do you start ASJ? It could be.
He's breathing and he's a tight. He's got a body, so you could start him.
He is walking. On 2 legs.
Your guess is as good as mine at this point with tight ends. So
that dude got robbed of so many touchdowns last year.
He did,
and I actually do like ASJ against the Chiefs.
I mean, he's seeing 5-4 and 5-4 targets, and this has the potential for a decent scoring game. If you get a tight end that you know is guaranteed, put it this way, if you have an option to where you would have Trey Burton out, and your options are either like Tyler Kroft, Ushamama, maybe Swiem from Dallas, or Austin Facerian-Jenkins. At least you know this guy's going to get some targets, so at least play that game.
Right.
Like, hey, I know he's going to get some targets.
Like that's their tight end. Like it's there's a lot of teams that you're like, oh, okay, is he going to go to this fucker? Is he going to go? Yeah.
Yeah, it might not be a sexy play, but at least you know the ball's going to get thrown at him, and that's what it comes down to. Jaguars D, I don't think they're good play in this.
This game is gonna show whether or not Pat Mahomes has it. Actually, they said that last week against the Broncos too. But
the Broncos they're at home, so they're a better defense at home, but they're still an average defense as a whole when you look at the numbers.
I wonder how Turbo Mick throws with his opposite hand's gonna do. Sorry,
he good though.
He good.
Mahomes, I think you still start him unless you have another pretty high-end option. Who were some quarterbacks? Matt Ryan, I think people could have both those. I would start over him. I'm looking at them right now. Phillip Rivers is someone I would start over him. Drew Brees, Cam Newton. You're going with those guys, obviously.
Damn,
let's look at some names. Okay, here's a decent option. Would you start Jared Goff or Mahomes?
Is that a prime? That's hard. I'd probably play Jared Goff.
I think I would go with Goff too.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a little bit safer of an option.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard though.
It's a hard one.
It's just Jaguars' defense is pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I mean they limit quarterbacks.
But teams have put points up against the Jaguars. Like we put like in that playoff game last year, we put like 40 points against them. And
yeah, Jimmy G had a good game last year against him too.
Yeah, so it's
not undoable.
Yeah, it's possible.
It's not like it's impossible. but you just got to realize that you're coming with a little bit of risk going in there. You know, maybe not. If you start Mahomes, be like, okay, I'm going to be happy if he gets me 250 and 2.
Right.
But I'm going to be
Don't
ecstatic.
expect that like some 400-yard game.
Yeah, and that's if he does have that 400-yard game, like okay, cool, I'm ecstatic he had that 400-yard game.
Right.
But I would be like, okay, if he gets me 250 and 2 out of this, I'm on a short bench. I don't want to drop anybody to stream for a week. Then okay, cool, Mahomes is going to get me. Mahomes is going to get me. You know.
Yeah, right.
He's getting me to beat my homies.
Yeah.
As long as my homies lets me beat my
dude.
homies, I'm good.
Yo, you play with words so good, dog.
Kareem Hunt, I know it's a tough matchup, but you still start him. It's nice to see the targets this week. Tyreek Hill, I mean, he fast.
He's
so fast, he make fast people look not fast. I know he's going against Ramsey, but all it takes is one play with him.
Yeah.
He could have a 4 for 35, but he could also have a 6 for 190 million yards.
What's going on with Sammy Watkins, really quick?
He's been practicing this week, but in this matchup, I don't think he's someone I would want to play in this matchup.
I'm not going to play with Sammy Watkins. They're saying his injury wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
His like a little hamstring, right?
Yeah. It seems like everyone's got a hamstring injury these days.
They all got hamstrings.
They got him.
I know that for sure.
Might not be 100%, but they got him. And then Travis Kelce, you know, you're obviously starting Travis Kelce in this matchup. And that's the wait, Tyler, do you want to say anything?
Tyler, yeah, what do you got to say?
I just really like football, and I like watching football, and I like. Oh, sorry, my phone went off. I have an iPhone 4, and I just don't know how to turn
Tyler,
off
do
the
you know
sound.
how to turn it on silent?
I don't. And there's a little notch here that I've never touched before. What does that do?
Have you ever heard of the settings?
Like set your lineup every week for football? Is that what you mean?
You must have been a guy who left Chris Carson in the lineup based off of your knowledge.
Well, Chris Carson's the leading rushing yards in fantasy right now. So, yeah, so there's that.
Someone get this guy out of here.
Okay, I gotta go.
Jesus, fuck,
Jeez,
dude.
bro,
That guy
God.
sucks, dude.
Yeah, we're looking for replacements for a third guy in the average bros.
Dude, maybe we should just have 2. Fuck this guy. Tyler fucking blows. And his dog's gay, dude. Everybody says.
That's just, I heard he likes peanut butter. Might want to edit this part.
Just talking shit about his dog. Dude, your dog sucks. Dude, I might get a Great Dane. All right, anyways, we're getting really random.
We're getting really off track. All right, I think it's because we were trying to push it for an hour. Like,
It's like the first time we finished a little bit early.
we got excited because we had time to spare.
Okay, so way to go, man. This podcast was brought to you by us because we made it.
We did it.
Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast. Thanks for listening. Please go and review or just rate us, subscribe to us on iTunes. It helps a ton. You can listen to us on Stitcher, on the podcast app, the iTunes, whatever. You know what I'm talking about, okay? It's there, all right? You know where it's at.
Is it on the iTunes?
Yeah. Go to your app store, search podcasts, download that app, and then search Average Bros. We're right fucking there. Anyways, we're also on YouTube, full video format. If you want to go and see our good looking faces, dude. Oh my God, handsome Squidward over there. Jesus Murphy, Blue Steel. Fuck, you look good, dude. Check us out on YouTube. Also, follow us on Instagram. We're gonna start posting feeds on different apps and stuff like that, and we're gonna do like a question episode where we answer who should you start, who should you sit. So if you want to send any of that stuff, you can just DM us on Instagram. That's @AverageBros_fantasy football. Or you can send us on Twitter. It's @AverageBrosFFP. Just send us your questions. Who should I start instead of this guy? Whatever. We'll give you our best advice.
Yeah, don't be afraid to slide in because we'll slide back.
Yo, slide in those DMs.
We'll slide back.
Yo, we respond.
Yeah. I slide in head first.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Damn, dude. That sounded like you. Bro, are you trying to fuck our listeners, dude? Anyways.
Right.
Thank you for listening. This has been the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast, and get the frick out of here, dude.
Deuces.